Hey everybody, Chico here with another car review. I'm supposed to be working in my other room. I think you guys heard me say that once or twice. And I made a video last night, and it was about a couple of Pep Boy cars. Well, all my friends looked at it and told me, Chico, you said Manny, Mo, and Joe, and it's Manny, Mo, and Jack, and I just didn't even think about it because I just didn't think about it. Once again, it just goes to show that we are all human. As a matter of fact, when I looked at the video again and dedicated my Marine Corps thing to Martin out there, I stated American flag. It was the Marine Corps flag. Sometimes just nervous, trying to get through it. So I apologize, guys. We all know it's Manny, Mo, and Jack, not Manny, Mo, and Joe. Okay? All right? And, you saw my Miller truck. So, and I didn't even have any of that when I made my video. But I'm sitting over here. I always try and give you a different angle in the room. I promised that we would look at some of the cars. Well, I got my cabinets over here. And so I want to do a review on one of my favorite cars. I hope it's yours. Before I bring the car out, I'm going to show you what it is. I Love Lucy. I've already told you how old I am. So, growing up for me, I Love Lucy it wasn't reruns, but it hadn't been in reruns that long. And this is the certificate of authenticity in here. Just to mention before I bring out the model, I'll explain this. They have some scenes of the model car I'm going to show you. It comes in quite a commemorative box that is just brilliant. I Love Lucy. It has some skits up here. It has the car there. You can see how big the box is. Another viewing of the car there. And I guess that's pretty much it. I keep the box on the floor over there. I actually have all of I Love Lucy and the Desi Lou Hour. It's just hilarious stuff. When I was growing up, all the silver screen actors were still alive. I'm in this generation where rock and roll, most of our rock and roll legends have passed on, and all the silver screen idols. Sidney Poitier just passed away, but Cagney, Bogart, Bacall, Jesus, all those, Jimmy Stewart, Frank Sinatra, Clint Walker, all those guys from back during the silver screen. Just I can name them for forever, but they're all gone. And time goes on. We've got a lot more black actors, more black awards, and there was a pathway in the early days when actors of ethnic colors were being recognized. Gone with the Wind, the black woman, I can't think of her name, and but she played Mammy. She was actually the first African American to get an Academy Award. Sidney Poitier was the first male actor to get an Academy Award. But I digress. I Love Lucy was a hilarious show. And when I found this model, I've had it for some time. I couldn't wait to get it in my collection. I Love Lucy. And there's a whole lot to this model. And it's at a fair price. So for some of you more senior 118 car collectors like myself. If you never thought about getting this car, is detailed. I mean, it is just phenomenal with detail. And I'm going to show you a lot of it right now. So, all right, let me set the stage for this. First of all, they're in this car. And right here on the box, they are singing. The I Love Lucy show was an apartment in New York City. For you younger people that don't know, and Fred and Ethel owned the building, and Lucy and Ricky lived in the building. But Ricky got a shot to go to Hollywood, and they dragged their friends with them. That's what friends did back then. So we got Ricky, Lucy, Fred, and Ethel. And as they get to going across the the Brooklyn Bridge, they're singing California, here I come. And it was a great little production. From what I understand, it was the first time rear projection was used to show them crossing the bridge. I've got a magazine with a lot of the stuff in there. Because I'm a fan of the show. That's the way it is. And I want to show you the car. So in order to show you the car, I got to lift this. So this is Ethel. And these figures are very, very well done. I mean, they look like who they're supposed to be, which is rare sometimes. And here's Lucy. They just had a show on Netflix about Lucy and Ricky. And even though they did get divorced, even till the end, they were a couple. They were inseparable. There's a lot of stories out there. Ricky was a band leader, and of course, he went all over the country, and, well, you know. But I'm not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this cool model. I'm going to start with the back of the car. Why? Because I want to open up the trunk. And in the trunk, you'll notice how it's painted here. And that's the way the cars were done back in those days, trying to get my hand under it. This has an actual fabric liner, which is the way they used to do it. It wasn't no mat, it was actually fabric. You can see the tire and the jack there. Back in the 50s, chrome was just the chrome. So you can see this like waterfall effect chrome here over top of the taillights, and it's beautifully done. And it's also, before I open up the hood, this chrome runs down the hood here. You have a big Pontiac, which was like an airplane. And on this model here, the nose of the ornament is clear, but it was actually amber a little bit. Underneath the hood, and when I say it's detailed, it's detailed. The rocker covers have Pontiac stamped on it, and it's a 55. I'm going to go back to the back in a minute. It has the oil bath cleaner. I don't know if it has air conditioner. I don't think it has it. It's plumb noir. Battery, everything in there. Real hood hinges. Something that's kind of unique. I used to call these eyebrows. You'll notice this raised area above the headlight in chrome trim. The turn signals are actually down here. You want to talk about a big car. If you sat in this thing today, you'd think you were sitting in a Mack truck. The sun visors are up here, of course. There is no top. This is, it's shown as a convertible. And, okay, so why don't I get up underneath while we're doing this? And if you look at this frame, I just want to mention that as we got into the 60s, we had rigid straight frames. You'll notice that this one is even crisscross. They really wanted to make sure cars were strong, and I'm not going to say so much safety as it was they believed in a good solid frame up underneath the car, and they had good solid frame because they didn't fix cars with plastic back in the day. They actually did it with lead, and there's an art to that that only a few body mechanics can do anymore. I'm going to show you the door trim and the interior now. I put my glasses down so I can show you. And I don't want to break anything. So you can see the floor mats. You can see the black. I've got a spotlight over there. I'm trying to make the lighting a little better. So you can see some of it with two-tone interior. And you can notice this powder blue also is on the wheels, on the rims. And that's what they did back then. They would trim it out like that. The seats are beautiful. You have big bench back seat. These seats do move. Ricky's behind the wheel, so that's why I didn't have to take him out. The whole dashboard is completely detailed. I know you won't see it, and I'm not going to try and do that. What we do have is on the trim, on the door, you can see the chrome that used to be on the door. You have your crank vent window, you have the window, and even the window is simulated here. You know, most models, they just have the door panel on, but they actually, here's the rear window, which is simulated as it's being all the way down. So you have your chrome, your trim, the armrest, you actually have a knob here to adjust the mirror. That was a big deal back then too. Same on the other side. You'll notice these little like chrome star, they're really hard to see, aren't they? But there's 3 of them right here on the door and the fender. 2 on the door and 1 on the fender. And when I did when I circled the room, and I said someday I'll come back to do this. So yeah, it's I Love Lucy, and it's a really nice model. And I would say anybody that's, well, you know, I have a lot of movie cars. Anyway, you already know that. I mean, beside me here, I've got Scarface, Fred, the Blues Brothers, Fast and the Furious. Fast and the Furious up here. So I love the movie cars. This is a great model. I got this one from Diecast Model Wholesales. I don't believe I paid $200 for it. It's under. If you can still get it. They also have a version with just Ricky and Lucy, and then they have the conga drum and the guitar, which Ricky played in the back seat without Fred and Ethel. I thought about getting that one, but this had both of them, and I was quite satisfied with this. So I'm going to set this back in the cabinet. And I got 2 other cars, short video. I'm only doing this because I had to apologize for this mistake. If you notice in the background over here, this is the Dukes of Hazzard. We got the old Jin Lee here. Yes, sir. On my little rotating thingamabob there. But I'm going to set this back. I want to talk about 2 other cars, and we'll call it a night. Taking a little bit longer than I should. Yep, you can see what's coming up. Since I got the cabinet open, I'm going to do a little dusting on these now that I brought them out. This was one of the funniest shows ever to hit television. The Munsters. They were, God, they were a riot. And people would come in and see Lily and Herman and run through the door and jump over fences and run away. Serious funny. But I have a tin up there, the Munsters, and in that tin is a book, and this book has everything about the Munster coach, built by Burgess, and I know they're up for sale, and I do know that Grandpa's Dragster sells for more than the coach. But the reason why I'm showing you, and these are from the show, which was only a half hour. There's Herman up there in the corner, actually holding the Munster coach. So what happened was, Lily wanted to get Herman a car. So she had a used car dealer take, I don't know whether it was 2 or 3 cars, cut it up, and made the Munster coach. Herman goes to the drag track, loses the car. So Grandpa has to come save the day. And that's how we got Grandpa's casket here. I want to be very fragile with him. I've had these for a very long time. You have a felt-like inlay on the fabric on the Munster coach. I have a little homie there. I'll take her out for a second. And then this is supported by a rod that would close up. No figures come with this. But this has been a very popular sort of a rebranding of this. I've seen them go for as much as $200 online, and yet you can buy the coach, which I really did like the coach. There's a lot more to see with it, I think, more so than this one. But and I've got Lily, Herman, and Grandpa all in the case. They're all doing a little something different. You know what? Let me. If you haven't seen, you probably, if you're a collector, you've seen the figures. I'll just show you Herman real quick. There are times when they make these figures and they look nothing like the actor. This is identical to the actor. You could almost talk to him. He looks so real. The deal was you bought these and you could build the electric chair. Grandpa's back there with his magic, and he's got Igor over his shoulder. I just use it to dress up the display. But these are really nice. They're cool to look at. Kind of fragile. You got to really be careful with them. I've been fortunate. I've never knocked anything off of them. Let me give you one more look at them. So there they are, like this. I'll give you a look at the coach, and give you another look at the coffin here. So Grandpa beats the guy that Herman lost the coach to, and of course they get the coach back. Thus, the Munsters. All right, I thought maybe I'd make this short. Once again, we all need to get along. My thanks To all those that participate in the military, to all of you, we owe you a debt of gratitude. And to our doctors, nurses, to everybody that's fighting COVID, we love you and we appreciate you. And with that, I'll say good night.